DC's 52, week 15 and week 16. Some big stuff happens. Not that I was, unexpected stuff, but big stuff anyway. Well, let's dive in. Welcome back to Longbox Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. Now, we are discussing DC's 52, not the 52 bad 52, but the 52 before the 52, which we've covered many times before, and saying it that way. All right, so this is weeks 15 and 16, and some big stuff happens in these two issues. So, again, this is written by, get to that page, Geoff Johns, Grant Morrison, Greg Rucka, Mark Waid. Pencils on issue 15 was done by Sean Mall. Now, Keith Giffen did the breakdowns, but Sean Mall did the pencils. Now, we start this issue, week 15, day 1, basically Booster Gold. This whole issue is basically about Booster Gold. And Booster Gold has lost all confidence. The people have lost all confidence in Booster Gold. He is getting terminated from different contracts and sponsorships that he had. You know how he has all the sponsorships all over his uniform? Well, he has lost sponsorships. He is having to clean them off his uniform. He's drawing... Newsweek has an article about Supernova being the brand new greatest superhero ever, and he's drawing mustaches and devil horns and stuff like that on it. And that's day 3. And day 5, newspaper articles, Supernova's outshining, tarnished Booster Gold has no just over and over and over again. So week 15, day 5, Booster Gold sitting on he was like, I cannot believe that. I've got to do something. His bills are overdue. He can't pay. Can't pay. And he's like, you got to find me something. And Skeet's like, well, there's this. And he's like, come on, that's too little. And there's this. Well, that's too little. He goes, there's a nuclear submarine crash in Midtown. He's like, come on, what do you think I am, Aquaman? What are you gonna do? Wait, Midtown? So supposedly there's a nuclear submarine that's going to crash in Midtown Manhattan. And Booster Gold is on the way to save the day. So he takes off. Now, this thing is pretty... It's like this sea creature with a nuclear submarine embedded in it. You can probably see the picture here. So we got the sea creature with this embedded nuclear submarine, and it is in Midtown Manhattan. Booster has not been shown to be the best and the brightest of all superheroes. So we'll see how he deals with that. Now we swap over to Kahndaq, and Renee Montoya and the Question are in prison in Kahndaq, and they have been beaten and interrogated, and things are about to get worse, specifically for Renee. And the guards are kind of brutal, and they're walking her past the Questions. So she's like, maybe we can escape this time. Maybe we can figure out something to do. There's got to be a way to get out of this. And she's going by the Question cell, and he is not in there. And she goes crazy. What did you do to him? Where is he? And then she starts to see smoke. And now remember, the smoke is a chemical compound that kind of comes from his belt, and that helps mold the mask to his face, does other things like this. And you need the chemical compound to pull the mask off, etc., etc. So she pulls him toward, gets toward the bars, and the Question punches one of the guards in the face, and then she's fighting with shackles on, and just takes out these two dudes. Now, she had some help, and she is a good fighter. So the Question is punching through the wall. She's doing some kicks and hits, and so they're working together through the grate, and they kind of overcome the guards. Then we get back to Metropolis, and we have Superman. Well, Clark Kent, right? Clark Kent. And the name of this monster is called a Ballastro. Ballastro is a mythic pre-crustacean thing that attaches itself to sea craft in search of food, whatever. And so he is running past the closet going, oh man, I missed that closet. But he does not change into Superman. He runs down as Clark Kent. Now you see this great battle between Booster Gold and the sea creature. The sea creature's got tentacles everywhere, and Booster Gold's getting smashed, and the railway's getting smashed, and people are running and screaming, and Booster Gold gets knocked into a statue of Superman. Superman's head falls off, and the head almost smashes him into the ground. And he moves at the last minute. Then he runs and he pulls this lady out of this car, which she doesn't want to leave. So Booster Gold is basically carjacking this lady, and he pulls her out. I'm going to need this, and she calls him a perv. He's stealing her car. Okay, he's stealing her car. He is carjacking this lady. And he takes the car and he throws it at the sea creature. Like, that is actually going to do anything. And he's like, I've got to find some way to knock this thing out. So what he decides to do is get up on the rail track and pull the electrical cable up to shock it. And as Superman is standing there, Clark Kent goes, oh, surely he's not going to. Booster, no. A fluctuation like that would blow the city's power grid. So Booster Gold, in an attempt to make himself look like a hero again, has now taken himself and blown the power grid of Midtown Manhattan. Great move there, Booster. So Booster's like he's down on the ground. He is beat up. He is not. The tentacle hits him, smashes him, and then Supernova shows up. Now Supernova is shining a brightly light. He goes, I'll light. Don't worry, everybody. Move slow. I'll light everything up. And then he comes in and he hits the sea creature and he pulls out the nuclear submarine and he knocks out the sea creature. And then we get into this tit for tat, this fighting thing, tit for tat between Booster Gold and Supernova. And Supernova, somebody says, where'd the monster go? And that's what Booster Gold said. And Supernova says, I zapped it away. No need to thank me. City's safe now, and you are too. Somebody from the crowd says, should call him Booster Fold. And he's like, ignore those insults, Booster. You're not going to pay attention to these people, are you? Of course you aren't. Why start now? What? He is throwing down. Booster goes right at him, man, and they are boom, and they're fighting. And Booster's like, I had it with this smug guy. I'm going to take him down a few notches, and now they are fighting back and forth in the middle of this mountain. And finally, Skeets has said, hey, it's leaking radiation. You've got to do something. The sub is going to blow, and it's in the middle of Manhattan. So Booster jumps up and decides to change the programming in his suit to process the radiation and then feed it directly into the force field and anti-gravity. Excuse me, I still have that. A little bit of the cold. Hopefully it's getting over it. But he starts pulling that thing up. And Clark Kent's like, Supernova's like, what's he doing? And Kent goes, more than I thought he ever could. Now, Booster's not doing it because he really wants to save Metropolis. Booster's doing it because he wants everybody to think of him as a hero. He's not altruistic. He is all about what Booster can get out of this. And he goes, so he starts taking the force field and lifting with the anti-grav this whole submarine up into the sky. And Skeet's like, your force field can't hold all this. And Booster's like, that's right, everybody. Forget Supernova. The name with the claim to fame is Booster Gold. I'm back, baby. I'm back. And that's when the sub explodes in a nuclear explosion. Clark Kent has to look away. Skeets is like, that wasn't in the records. This wasn't supposed to happen. Save him. And so, Supernova flies up into the air, catches Booster Gold. I tried to save him. Oh no. And you just see the skeleton in Booster Gold's outfit. Booster Gold is dead. Dead. He got fried. And honestly, I can't say, he didn't, nobody deserves to die. But he wasn't the best hero. He was doing stupid stuff. And it was going to happen to anybody. It was going to happen to Booster Gold. He kind of earned that. He was kind of being stupid. And then we go into issue 16. Now, issue 16, again, Geoff Johns, Grant Morrison, Greg Rucka, and Mark Waid. Keith Giffen did the breakdowns, and then Joe Bennett did the pencils on this. And the pencils on here are pretty good. We get week 16, day 1. We get Black Adam and Isis flying through Kahndaq, and he comes to show her this garden. All the children are planted, and they had left this nice little portion undone. She goes, well, you want me to grow something there? They're like, no, that's for your brother. When we find your brother, that's where we're going to put him. And that's when Black Adam gets down on one knee, and he lifts up this diamond and goes, "This diamond belonged to Cleopatra, given to her by Caesar on the eve of the Alexandrian War. I offer it to you, Isis, and I ask you today, this morning, to be my queen. And to be your queen, will you be my wife?" And of course, I think she says yes. So, Black Adam proposed with a big honking diamond. No, not a ring, just a big honking diamond. So hopefully he'll get it. He's a ruler of a country. I'm sure he can take care of it. And so then we flip over and we have the question, and Renee. They're still in Kahndaq, and they know something's going on. They're still looking for Intergang. They're still trying to figure out what's going on, and they know Black Adam's and is getting married. But they go like, you know what? Intergang's going to hit the wedding. They're going to do something at the wedding. They're going to hit it in some suicide bombing or something. And then we flip back over, and Mary Marvel is now the bridesmaid. She's there to help Isis get married, and Isis, she's like, and Mary's really kind of doubting. Black Adam's always been bad. Should you really be marrying this guy? He's not always been on the side of the good. And it's like, well, if you agreed to be my lady, my maid of honor, why are you throwing all these things up now? Why are you talking like this? I'm like, well, he just, I got to get comfortable with the fact that he is now on the side of good, and she's, Billy Batson asked her to do it, so kind of, since they're brother and sister, she's out there to do it. And then Isis comes out in her wedding dress. Well, what is left on her that is of a wedding dress, because it's not very wedding dressing-ish. And like, hey, just take it easy. Black Adam's gonna be okay. He's a good guy now. And then Billy Batson's sitting there. He's gonna be the best man. And thank you, Billy, for coming and for agreeing to use your authority as the keeper of the rock to wed us. So Billy's actually going to officiate the wedding. And Black Adam's like, hey, you have the Marvel family, so I figured I'd start the Black Adam family. And then we go back to the question and Renee. They're going through the thing, and they're like, hey, remember we found all that rat poison in the building where all the people were dead? It's an anticoagulant. And so if they blow up a bomb with shrapnel, it'll actually cause people's blood to not clot, and they'll bleed out more. So they're like, the bombers in the crowd, we really got to get out there and help these people. Now, back over to the wedding, we've got Captain Marvel Jr. is out there trying to do crowd control. He's flying around and trying to keep everything in order. We got Black Adam and Shazam are out there between the two great statues. You've seen all the pictures, two great statues over the center. And Bill hey, she's beautiful. And she comes up and grabs his chin and goes, hello, Adam. And then we get all the people are going crazy. Yeah, they're going to get married. And he's like, good morning, Isis. And Captain Marvel Jr. is getting crowd surfing. He's not really good at crowd control. So the question and Renee are in the crowd looking for the bomber. And so they're officiating the wedding, and they all say Shazam. There's a lightning strike, and again, they all there, and they said, here, they're going to bless this union, and they're saying their vows to each other. And that's when Renee sees this woman with a backpack, and she has the bombs across her chest, and she's like, it's just a kid. And so she runs up, and then we got the wedding, and she's like, it's just a kid. He's like, you've got to take the shot. You've got to shoot her. But it's just a kid. And, no, you have to actually take the shot. They're saying the vows in between. I can't shoot a kid. No, you're not going to reach her in time. You've got to take the shot. And the woman is praying in the beginning, the body, the getaway, the alibi. Unto Cain I render this crime. Unto Cain take these victims. And then Adam goes, I pronounce you husband and wife. Now let's get some more lightning, and lightning's flying. And then Renee, a little panel at the bottom, shoots. And just as she shoots, Black Adam kisses his bride, Isis, floating in the air above the crowd with lightning striking everywhere. That's a nice panel. And then you get Renee standing over the body of the kid. She shot this young girl who was a suicide bomber. So you didn't have a choice. And she's like, well, we should have been able to tell her that, which is sad. And then Black Adam's talking to Isis, and he says, Isis says, I never thought that all my wishes would come true so quickly. He goes, almost all of them. We're still going to find your brother. So that search can go on tomorrow. But tonight, we are husband and wife for the first time. Let's not waste it. And they go on to their bedroom, and the guards are down scrubbing the blood from the suicide bomber off the ground. So that, yeah. And then week 16, day 7, we have Firestar, Animal Man, and Adam Strange are all on the space shuttle, and they're getting ready to take off, and he's counting down, and then nothing happens, and then finally it shoots off, and it takes him to space. He goes, hold on, everybody, we're on our way home. So big stuff happened in this issue too. Black Adam got married to Isis, and the 3 trapped on a foreign planet are finally going to head home. So these issues were pretty good. The art was pretty good. It's been on par with all the rest of them. Some big stuff happened. Booster Gold died. Black Adam and Isis got married. Renee and the Question broke out of prison, and Renee had to kill a suicide bomber, which is pretty gnarly. And the 3 trapped in space: Animal Man, Strange, and Adam Strange and Firestar are finally escaping from the planet. So that's good. So maybe we'll see them back in with everybody else soon. So I appreciate these comics. The series has been good. I appreciate reading it. It's been awesome. And I appreciate you guys watching this. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time here in the Long Box.